A startling announcement from the attorney for DeMarcus Elkins. He says there is no gunshot residue that links his client to the shooting death of 13-month-old Antonio Santiago.
The defense filed motions last month that revealed the child's parents, Sherry West and Louis Santiago, tested positive for traces of gunshot residue, or GSR. Well, the case is set to go to trial next month. The question tonight is, does having positive or negative traces of GSR carry any significance? Tim Pulliam is in our newsroom tonight with more. Tim?
Rob, we spoke with a forensic expert who says that gunshot residue does not have the impact that attorneys often wish it does, but the suspect's attorney believes that it's a valuable piece of evidence. DeMarcus Elkins did not have gunshot residue on him after 13-month-old Antonio Santiago was shot and killed, according to the 17-year-old's attorney, Kevin Goff. For the past 4 months, the teenager has been living in a jail cell while awaiting his murder trial.
He's very scared. He's very alone. He's a very young man in a very difficult situation with a lot hanging over his head. It would be a difficult situation for anyone.
Goff says the prosecution's case is weak since his client tested negative for gunshot residue, or GSR. But local forensic expert Michael Knox says gunshot residue is short-lived evidence and can disappear from your hands after about 4 hours.
What we'd want to know is how much time elapsed between when the shooting took place and when the sampling was done, which is actually taking samples from the person's hand, and also what kind of activity they were involved in during that time span that might explain why it's gone.
The teenager was arrested the day after the March 21st shooting. Goff would not say when or how Elkins was tested. Knox says it's also common for gunshot residue to transfer from person to person. Louis Santiago, Antonio's father, claimed he was at Walmart at the time of the shooting. The toddler's mother, Sherry West, who was also shot that day, believes the gunshot residue possibly got on him after he visited her at the hospital. Knox says examining gunshot residue in general is not that significant in law enforcement procedures and may not be a smoking gun of evidence in court.
It's not uncommon for attorneys on either side to make issues out of gunshot residue that often are bigger issues than what the evidence really means. Gunshot residue, because of its nature, how it can be easily transferred, easily wiped away, it doesn't necessarily put a gun in somebody's hand. It doesn't have the significance that oftentimes the attorneys like to make it have.
Now, Knox says because of GSR's nature, for example, it can easily wash off or it can transfer from person to person. The FBI stopped analyzing gunshot residue years ago. He also says the cost versus benefit really wasn't worth it to use. Elkins has a pre-trial hearing tomorrow morning. That's when a judge will decide if evidence presented in court will be admissible in his trial next month. Also, Elkins' mother, aunt, and sister will be in court tomorrow. They are facing charges related to this case. It's unclear if the other murder suspect, Dominique Lang, it's unclear if he will be in court tomorrow morning, but we will certainly let you know. We're live in the newsroom. Tim Pulliam, Channel 4, the local station.